Hello, Dipika.
Hello, sir.
How are you? Good to see you.
Yeah, same here. I'm doing good. Lovely to see you too.
Lovely, lovely. And all okay? All set for your webinar?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Fantastic. Excellent. So we have lots of people attending today, and people are slowly joining in. Good evening, Brian. Good evening, Ravindra. Good to see you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you, my friends. Oh, quite a few people joining in. And we have our favorite Shalini here from from Pune. And
Yeah,
thank you for thank you for being here, Shalini. Thank you for joining in.
the
And
critical glasses.
yeah, and I have Salil Datta also here, the hardworking man. Um, thank you, friends. Thank you, Iqbal. Thank you, Pramodji. Bob is here from England, so that's lovely. Nanita is here. Lots of friends. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. And Dipika is going to, unfold her magic to you again this evening. She's going to talk about her experiences and her expertise of forest therapy. Uh, Poor thing, she had to go to Ireland to learn all of that to do it in India, the most forested country of on this planet, and then had to go all the way to Ireland to do it. Anyway, so that's her expertise, and I'm so pleased. You know, this girl. Let me let me uh, let me talk to you about Dipika. So Dipika is one person who has a deep sense of responsibility and very high uh, integrity. A girl who pulls through any condition. You've seen her laughter, right? And that is what she was born with. The doctor, when probably when she was coming out of her mother's womb, the doctor was laughing away too. What's coming out? I think that's for the baby. So anyway, so friends, Deepika and I worked together for some time, many years ago, and then she disappeared, and then she appeared again from somewhere, and she's the one who has been the backbone for Asian adventures in the past. Last year during this lockdown, she decided to venture out and do and conduct forest therapy, healing programs for her, for the world. And that was really, really heartening. Somebody to leave a secure job and to go and do this for people out there, it wasn't a joke. It really melted my heart. I think it was a brilliant move, and thank you, Deepika, for doing that. So, friends who don't know me, I am Mohit Agarwal. I'm an experiential ecotourism specialist, and I help people travel throughout Asia. And then I also run this company called Asian Adventures, which is a 27-year-old ecotourism company, and it's on a large mission to help Asian elephants with their corridors, help Himalayas, free the Himalayas of plastic waste, and also help small wildlife NGOs and also save the ancient shrines in the Himalayas. So that's a bit about me, and I want Deepika now to take over and give you all the gyan, all the knowledge that she has about forest therapy. Over to you, Deepika.
Thank you, sir. So, good evening, everybody, and thank you so much for taking this time out to learn more about forest bathing. And it's a great pleasure to be here. And thank you, Mohit sir, for always giving me this opportunity, this platform to put my thoughts forward and speak about forest bathing. We all know how good being in nature can make us feel. Of course, the sounds of the forest, the scent of trees, sunlight playing through the leaves, and the fresh, clean air. Truly being in nature, it really makes us, it can restore our mood and give us back our energy and vitality. So, hi everybody. My name is Dipika. I'm currently based in Noida. I'm a daughter, a wife, and a mother to a 10-year-old nature lover. I'm a professional forest bathing guide, and I assist folks, with taking them out on forest bathing walks on the weekends, and even started forest bathing retreats in the Himalayas. So I will take this opportunity, to take you through, show you a few glimpses of what a forest bathing is all about, a few images about, what the participants do, and even speak about the various invitations we give out to make that connection deeper in the forest. To begin with, I will start with my presentation now. And I do hope you all stay till the end because we have a lovely offer to give out where you can participate in a forest bathing walk in Delhi or come join me in a forest bathing retreat in the Himalayas. So here I begin. The forest bathing, what it is. So this is what I'm going to cover today. And I just wonder, if I'm sure most of us have ventured out into the forest, into the woods, looking at maybe for a picnic or for a hike. There's so many things that, you do in a forest, but forest bathing is a little different to that. Let me first begin with introducing the history about it, It began in Japan. And the word forest bathing came out when the Japanese, the stressed out workers, they were spending long hours in the office and the government wanted to find a way to, send them out for a leisure activity. And what was a leisure activity was a time in the forest, which later research was done and they realized that, for being in the forest really brought down the stress levels and increased the productivity and brought mental clarity for their workers. So a lot of research then went on, and this was back in 1982, and the word Shinrin Yoku came up. So Shinrin literally means forest, and Yoku means therapy. So it was, but I would like to believe it, it's a new name for an ancient practice. Because in India, we know the system of the Gurukul, where people used to, go out and live in a Gurukul atmosphere, So similarly, the Japanese then introduced it as a therapy practice, and it was scientifically proven, is a scientifically proven approach to nature connection and had a lot of benefits besides being a priceless journey. And, connecting with nature, anyone who's looking to ground themselves, just to be present, excuse me, and, just get out of those cluttered thoughts, sometimes the brain fog, which happens. So this was the ideal therapy to walk out in nature, be there with all your senses and completely immerse yourself in that environment. So that was the concept of forest therapy. And it was then taken to the West, many Westerners follow forest bathing. And of course, in India, we have many people who do it, perhaps in a different way. They go out into the forest, and many enlightened gurus also live in the forest. So definitely it is proven that being in the forest, it has a lot of energy and a lot of good which comes out of it. It's you can, for those of us who are unable to function in our best potential, we can achieve great benefits from this program of forest bathing. Okay, the next one. So we'll speak about forest bathing. What it is, if you have ever been in a forest and you've listened to the birds and watched the sunshine, or just felt the earth below you, or participated in something where you are physically and mentally present in a natural environment, you have perhaps already practiced or done forest bathing in your own way. In a forest bathing walk, which I lead, we try to break the walk into small invitations in which the participant or the person coming, is not carried away. Because generally, when you're going for a walk or a hike, you have an intention of going from point A to point B. You have a destination you want to reach. But in our walks, there's nothing. We don't try to reach a destination. We first begin with setting an intention for the walk. We set an intention, like the last walk I had in the spring equinox, and it was time of spring and everything was blooming, and we set an intention for that retreat. And as nature, spring is a time for us to come out of our cocoons, and it's new flowers blooming. So we intended to lay the seeds of new beginnings. So every walk we set an intention, and that is what we step into the forest with. It helps us evolve. It makes us balance, and we harmonize with the forest that way. So sorry. So forest bathing, it's absolutely about listening, breathing, soaking in the sights, the different touch. So basically our 5 senses. We let the stillness around you influence the state of our minds and make us forget the constant motion of the city. So it's completely being there, being present to that environment, noticing and feeling and just being in that energy, in that atmosphere. Being present in the now. I would now like to show you a small video about which will give you a gist. It's a lovely video which you'll enjoy and you'll understand about the healing nature of the forest.
This is a film about forests. This is also a film about you. Our life is full of ups and downs. It doesn't matter who you are or where you live. There are always moments when your heart is broken, burnt, or hurt. When you have to face failure, rejection, or loss. So how do you pick yourself up when you are down? How do you start your healing when you are hurt? First, let us understand the brain. Over thousands of years, our body and brain have developed in the lap of nature. There is a part of you which still feels at home in nature. In fact, it has been scientifically proven that when you are in nature, your brain behaves differently. Being connected with nature results in some amazing changes inside your head, which begin to calm you and soothe your nerves. Your body picks up these signals to boost your immunity and your healing abilities. In our hectic lives, we overuse parts of our brain which deal with logic, information, and decision-making. A world of desires and distractions does not give our brain the rest it deserves. The chatter in our heads often goes out of control, but most people ignore the signs until things go wrong. Many people turn to alcohol and drugs. Some resort to medicines and expensive therapies to get relief from symptoms. Only a few spend time and effort in finding the root cause of the problem. Ask yourself a simple question. What is the source of your health? If you rest your mind and reflect, you'll know. It's nature. Reconnecting with nature is like resetting your brain. This is a film about forests. This is also a film about you. One cannot escape the ups and downs of life, but one can always find calm in nature. One can always find comfort and clarity in the company of woods. The path to healing lies inside you. And when you can learn to carry the forest within you, you are always home. Your healing has begun.
So I hoped that kind of brought a gist about, the healing properties of the forest and how important it is for us to reconnect with it. It just rejuvenates and helps us, heals us in a very deep way. So here are a few glimpses of what participants do in a typical forest bathing session. We give out invitations for 15 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes, wherein different activities are done by the participants. We can see here, it's just a time for simple relaxation and just to gather great mental clarity. And being in the forest, it really has proven to show that, the NK cells, which fight cancer, diseases like cancer, it really helps with that. And the trees in the forest, they give out this chemical aerosols, which is called phytoncides. And these also have immense healing properties. It's lovely to just breathe in that air. And it balances the state of body, and it has great psychological and physical benefits to it. Forest bathing is good, for both physical and mental well-being. It's proven to reduce stress hormone production, the cortisol hormone, and it improves the feeling of happiness, and it frees up our creativity as well as lowers the heart rate and blood pressure. So that is, just observe visualizing that you are in a forest environment, and immediately you feel the effects of it already. Even looking at an image of nature in front of you, or having some sort of plant in front of you in your workplace, it really you can also benefit from all of that. Any connection with nature on a day-to-day basis, really heals and helps with our stress and blood pressure and bringing down the heart rates. Here are a few benefits of forest bathing. People who have anxiety, it lowers the stress, it lifts depression, improves energy, helps with people who feel fatigued, it gives better sleep, it boosts the immune system, and deeper and clearer intuition, more clarity and focus. So these are a few things which forest bathing really, helps with. One practice we do in forest bathing is mindfulness, the practice of mindfulness, being present using all of our senses. So we give out invitations to participants to just be present. Just feel the moment where you're at, just listen to the different sounds, or just feel the earth below you, feel the air, the forest atmosphere, touch your skin, or the breeze, and just, inhale and exhale, breathe deeply, and even breathe with the mouth and, see what that feels like. So this practice of mindfulness, it's said to boost the clarity and being present. People suffering from physical ailments also, like blood pressure or depression. It really helps them with, because you connect to the vast power of the source energy, and you focus on your breath, and you become present, and you treat the body as a radar. Just feel which side, where you're walking, what's calling out to you. You're completely present in that moment. There is no gadgets with you. You're completely cut off. You're just there. It's you and the forest, and you just let the forest reveal itself to you. So at the end of our mindfulness session, we ask the participants to slowly open the eyes and see, let the forest reveal itself, and what do they notice? Here are a few participants from my last walk where they're just standing still, being present. And this is what some of them, saw in nature. Some saw the clouds. Some saw the sun rays through the trees. Some saw a particular flower. Some saw some dewdrops on a leaf. Some saw the way into the forest, a trail, or the mushrooms, the roots, the sounds of the water. This is what they noticed when they were completely present. Here are participants dipping their feet into water. If there's a stream nearby, people are drawn towards a water body. They're always drawn to a water body. It's amazing. I think all of us would also agree that, the water element, the sounds of the water, it's something which we are all attracted to. And grounding is a great way to completely, feel relaxed and realign your electrical energy by connecting to the earth. Grounding is a therapeutic technique that involves doing activities that ground or reconnect you to the earth, like, maybe standing barefoot. It helps you be centered and balances you. If you're feeling tense, it kind of relaxes you and you feel less stressed. And scientific research over more than a decade indicates that, the body can be protected and helped, and you feel better when you're grounded to the earth, electrically connected to the earth. So here is an image of a lady who was having major chronic pain, and the infrared image showed the red areas were areas where she was really suffering from pain. And she was asked to do some grounding. So it was explained to her that Earth is like a gigantic battery that contains a natural, subtle electrical charge, a special kind of energy in the ground. Grounding, which can be accessed through dipping your feet in the water, or perhaps just being hugging a tree, because we are all bioelectrical beings, living in an electrical planet, and we have become so disconnected from from nature. We are wearing shoes now. We are wearing shoes which we avoid the contact to earth directly, and a lot of scientific research showed that this grounding has really affected patients like her. And within 4 weeks, she said that 80% of the pain was gone, and she felt a lot of relief, which she had not felt earlier. Here are a few participants practicing grounding. So just walking on grass, barefoot, or sitting by a tree, removing your shoes, being in contact in any form with earth or with nature is a great way to practice grounding. Qigong is another element which I have added, which we have added into my forest bathing walks. It is a very therapeutic practice as well. It realigns the body, and Qi means prana, and it's a powerful Chinese technique. For centuries, the Chinese have been using Qigong. Qi is the energy, and it's meditation and movement. And it has very precise sets of movements, specifically designed, to kind of move the Qi in the body. It's easy to learn, and it's very enjoyable to do. Similar to Tai Chi, you might have seen people practice Tai Chi in a park near you or on the television. So it's an ability to, it helps with a lot of acute pain and injuries. Many martial artists practice Qigong, and it is very healing, and it really calms you down. It boosts immunity as well. A lot of injuries and illnesses are cured by Qigong, and doing it in nature is very therapeutic. Here are a few participants practicing Qigong. Very subtle movements, and the movements, where you part the heavens and you draw the energy from the earth and the sky above. So it's got lovely movements, and it's very healing to practice this. So today we are living in an era of technology, and there's a lot of techno stress is one term which Henry Liu had penned out years ago. And it's not normal for us humans to be bombarded with so much of information which we're getting online. We have access to information on our phones, on our hands, on our, we are scrolling and we have it on our laptops. This technology advancement is one of which our brains and bodies are not able to process and interpret. And somewhere we kind of get very bogged down by it. It's a lot of information, a lot of work happening for the brain to register and process. But we're still doing it. And people who have the nature deficit disorder, who are not connected with nature, they suffer in a big way because of this. And so again, it's for people who need to a break from this, need to have a digital detox and visit some park, some nature, or go for a walk, a forest bathing walk near them, and just kind of relax. The increased screen time, it's giving children, adults, all of us techno stress, and people are getting irritated very easily, getting a little stressed out. And so we recommend to take a digital detox, just to restore your mood, get back your energy. And the good news is, even a small time in nature, if you just walk out at the end of the evening after work into nature and just be mindful and present to the environment around you, it can help you immensely. Just unplug from technology. Take that time to completely leave your phone and gadgets behind for some time. Connect to the moment with the 5 senses. Slow down. Just de-stress. Relax. It gives you a lot of mental clarity and focus. So that's my son. He loves going forest bathing with me, and that's him just chilling on the grass there. And he loves nature. He's a person who loves watching birds and photographing them, and so he's completely in tune with nature. And I'm so glad, because my whole initiative, he has been my inspiration, because of whom I have started forest bathing. Here are a few participants from the last walk who were just enjoying nature. There was no need to rush for these people. No need to, there were no agendas. There was nothing to accomplish. Simply being present, just breathing, being present, and let the moment be what it is. Here's just a participant noticing the small elements in the bark of the tree, noticing how new buds come out. And just, these are things which we kind of take for granted, and we miss out noticing these lovely, lovely things around us in nature, because we're so preoccupied. One of the participants called me to show me this, as she stood below the tree and she looked up and she saw how the tree, the moss, the creepers, all were coexisting. And she said, look, the moss, it protects this tree from the snow, and then the tree, protects gives life to the moss and the creepers. They all coexist and they support each other. And if you remove a bit of the moss, you find insects living underneath it. And it was just beautiful. So here is a few things which one can just do in nature. Just be there, looking at, maybe even sky gaze, look at the clouds floating by, be there, climb a tree or hug a tree. So there's a lot of energies in that, there's a lot of energy in that tree, and you can feel it when you are in tune with it, there are small invitations which I give out to the participants where they stand like a tree and they put their hands out as if they're holding a beach ball. And after a couple of minutes of just focusing on the breath, and then when they move their hands, they can feel their prana, the chi. And likewise, after that, when they go to a tree which calls out to them or a space, and they just feel the energy, they can actually feel the energy of the tree, and it's amazing. Some of them, they just transcend into another zone altogether because they feel so connected to the tree's energy. And if you notice the barks of the tree and you just feel around the tree, you can feel some areas which are warmer and some are cooler. And it's just lovely to be there, just being in that same, you're in the same energy of the tree, and then you just immerse yourself in that. Some participants love to have a lovely nap underneath a tree in nature. City dwellers are missing out on this, and when they come for a forest bathing retreat, they make most of it. They just love being there, being present, and just doing whatever they would like to do. So here's me. We give out small invitations. We also ask participants to kind of carry a journal and write down what they're feeling, or write down a few things of affirmation in nature. It's a lovely place because you're so completely connected with yourself. It's nice to, focus and just write down the things that you want to affirm, the things you want to manifest. It's a lovely time because you're totally connected. So here we also, I remember giving them a sample of, drawing a tree, and, just every part of the tree meant something, like the fruit meant what all you want to achieve, or the branches meant, all those people who are connected to you, who support you. The roots of the tree were, what would you leave behind? So there were many things which they love to draw a complete tree, and each part I guide them to, write about each part, what it meant, and, focus on those things that are important in their lives. And, it kind of gives them a clearer perspective of what they want to do and what they want to achieve. And it's lovely what they share. So mandalas is another thing we love to do in nature. It was time of spring, so people go pick up things which mean something or speak to them in some way or the other, and everyone brings back to the sharing circle. So after every invitation, we have a sharing circle, and they bring back small elements from nature which they pick up on their way. So many people bought a lot of rhododendrons which had fallen. It was time of spring, as I said, and the trees were full of these bright flowers. And so we encourage people not to pluck them out, but to pick up things which have fallen. So they bring in twigs and flowers and wild flowers and pieces of wood which they find in nature. So, the mandalas, even coloring mandalas is something, some participants like, Carl Jung said a mandala is a psychological expression of the totality of the self. So everyone also gets to create their own mandalas in nature. And if some like, then they also they can create mandalas on small handouts I give them where they like to sit and spend coloring, painting those mandalas. And here also, there are small scripts I give them, about gratitude. What am I grateful for today? Who or what made me smile today? So it's just taking notice of how you can make your life more compassionate and kinder and more fulfilled with gratitude. And they love doing that as well. So mandalas can be your own expression, your own thing. It's nothing about, if you're an artist or not. It's just about, putting it. It's a great way. It's, designing and coloring a mandala. It really helps you focus your attention because there's small details that you put in there. And it's a great exercise, to just calm you down as well. So if you're feeling anxious, try creating a mandala or even coloring one. It's great. And it kind of connects you with the most intimate parts of yourself. That's my experience of it. And it really helps guide you. And, it's kind of a meditation, and it can help you focus your attention on something. And if you're feeling anxious, you must try just sitting and creating a mandala yourself. You connect with yourself and you kind of free yourself, your mind, rebuild, your thoughts. And it's a great way of, connecting with your own self as well. Here are a few glimpses of people spending time by themselves, taking a stroll in the woods. And of course, we also go walking through villages. So it's lovely to mingle with the village folk around. So we have lovely smiles happening, and it's lovely to just meet them and then maybe have a cup of tea with them. So they're always welcoming, and they are always full of cheer and laughter, and it's great joy to see how they go about doing their daily chores. Just being, laying down, this is a time for yourself, forest bathing. So at the end of the forest bathing, we have this tea ceremony, which is my favorite part because I am a foodie and I love having some snacks. The 2-hour walk always makes me hungry. So we have these lovely fruits and snacks, and we all gather together and we share what we felt, what we noticed. And it's a lovely time to just, to get together and socialize. So it's a time for socializing with each other. And the great thing is we usually make tea out of things which are foraged in the forest. So if that's not possible, then I usually make some green tea and we carry it to the forest. And the first cup is always offered to the forest, and then all of us take a sip together. So it's a lovely social gathering that we have at the end to kind of end the walk with a lovely tea ceremony. It's my favorite bit also. So here's a glimpse of what people brought back from the forest. Every element they brought back, they spoke about it from their hearts, and it had deep meaning. There were signs they received, for their own lives, and it was deep connections that they make, and it's just lovely. Bonfire in the evenings is something we all get together and we kind of write down. Again, there's an invitation for the fire in which we write down things which are not serving us. Something maybe, for an example, I tell them, what is it that you're fearful about? And they write it down. What is it that you're really afraid of? What is really fearful of and really afraid of? They write those things down. And, maybe is there something that you need to forgive somebody? So these things done in nature, kind of, because you're holding something which is not serving you. It's nice to write it down, and we kind of give it away into the bonfire. We kind of release it out there. So this is one activity. So end of my walk, this was a few words that I asked them, how did you feel? And this is what came back, and it was just lovely. And this just made me feel that this is what I have achieved in getting out of my participants. So I have a little poll for you. You can fill that up. Are you all able to see my poll? That's lovely. Everyone wants to experience it. Some have already experienced it. That's lovely. Thank you so much for sharing. So that was from me about forest bathing, and I would love to now take in questions from you, from the audience, if there's something that you would like to know more about it. So I'll just quickly open up the chat. Thank you, Abhinav Chaube. You said the natural beauties are completely fascinating me. They're really lovely. Yes, there are some photos from my walks in Delhi also. This forest name where I walked in was the Kilberry Forest in Pangot near Nainital, and there were pictures from two forests, and the other one was the Kunja Kharak which is again near Pangot. So it's lovely to see your comments where you've already spent time in nature and you agree that it heals and stress, and that's why introvert love to be in the lap of it. Yes. I think I consider myself also an introvert. So yes, being in nature is completely home for me. So Brian is freezing in the UK. In the UK has lovely forest walks, even in the snow. And so find out, there must be a forest bathing walk happening near you, Brian. Because when I was training in Ireland, I had a whole lot of people from the UK there as well, many mentors, and it was lovely. Pranay is asking, how often do you conduct walks in Delhi? Pranay, I have my walks on the weekends in Delhi, but just this weekend I'm out in the Himalayas. I have a retreat there. Otherwise, I often have my walks on a Sunday morning at the Lodi Garden. That's a lovely place. Early morning, it's lovely. It's got a nice canopy of trees, and it's lovely to be there. And and you can join me anytime, any Sunday morning. We usually start off in the summers at 7 in the morning, and it's just blissful. You can get to know more on my website. It's foresttherapyindia.com. And Shalini says, do you recommend Qigong or any other form of meditation such as pranayama or form of yoga? Yes, definitely, Shalini. There's a lot of breath work which happens. So people are welcome to practice their own breathing techniques. As well, together, we do a little bit of breath work in nature, which is lovely. It's a great way, to just connect and begin the walks with those. Or even when you have a time, we have a time for sit spot where you go and find a space for 20 minutes. You can finally go there and, do your own breathing. And yes, practicing breath work is great in the forest because, it's fresh air and all the elements, you're in connect with that. So Abhinav says, please tell me how we can define forest bathing in a sentence. I'll say just immersing yourself in nature with all your senses. Thank you, Madan. Thank you. I'm glad you found the session lovely. Please register. On the comments, Fareen has put in a link where you can register for the future webinars. Mohit sir has a lovely list of webinars on the link where you can register, and they're really meaningful and deep, so you can check that out as well.
Dipika, why don't you give your offer as well?
Yes, so time for the offer. I completely forgot about the offer. So people, I have a lovely offer. You can avail it right now. Here you go. I have a retreat coming up this April 16 to 18, and again, end of May, the last weekend. It is on the 29th to the 28th to the 30th of May, the last weekend. So you can avail this offer. And also for my walks in Delhi in May, the first 3 weekends of May, you can again join me on a forest bathing walk at Lodi Garden. I would love to host you all there and take you through this experience. And I'm sure you all will all have good things to say about it. So I hope everyone's availed the offer. You can know more about it also. You can get directly in touch with me through the website, which is in the comments. You can find it there. Thank you, Nonita. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
I think it was a wonderful session.
Thank you.
Your magic. And this time it was, you had photos to show and there were experiences you actually, transported us right up to the hills where you were. So I think it was, one needs to connect with nature to improve your intellect. I also want to repeat my experience with Amu. What happens with a tree, which is an amaltas tree. It's a laburnum tree in the park behind my house. And last year, when Dipika was talking about forest bathing and tree hugging, so I used to go hug this tree in the lockdown, and there was used to be sense of bliss. He would empty me out. So this tree, I started to treat him like my son, and I named him Amu. So, so Amu is a very special tree for me, and all the trees are, but this one is really special. And then once I saw that there are these, like you have in England, tree surgeons. We have these tree hackers here from the municipal corporation who are so insensitive. They will just go and hack all the branches, and they couldn't be bothered about the birds nesting there, or because they want to collect that dry wood and they want to collect the leaf litter which they can sell. And I saw that tree was a little chipped in the trunk, and I just couldn't hold. I wept. My eyes welled up, and I didn't know what to do. And so I went to the local people who are in the administration of the colony, and I said, "Look, this is what has happened." So they looked at me and said, "What is this guy talking about? Has he gone insane? Lockdown has probably got to him. And what's this thing about the tree?" So I took the lady and the gentleman there, and I said, "Look, this is what somebody has done to this tree, and it's not fair. And you cannot allow people to use their axe, you know, just like that. They got to be judicious about the collection of leaf litter and whatever is there." So that experience of mine with Ammu, uh, it's always been very special. So if when I say in my introduction, I've got four children, two humans, two non-humans. Actually, I should say that I have five children, and I have Ammu as well. And Ammu is special to me. So he'll be flowering again. Friends, I'll send you pictures when he's flowering, and he's going to be. He's a living entity for me. I could be emotional about it, and but he's actually a living entity. So what if he doesn't move? So what if he doesn't have a mobile phone to send me Facebook messages? But he's there, and he's the one who's actually taking in all the weather changes and the storms and the rains and the sun and the winter chills, all of that standing there, standing deep rooted, for us to give us water, hope, shade, whatever else that we want. So thank you, Dipika, for introducing me to my son. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
So, friends, if you've got any more questions to ask her, you can do it. Those who join in late, no problem with that, because you'll get the the link to her webinar, the replay link, in another email that will hit your inbox tomorrow. And then tomorrow again, I will go live with a session on storytelling to enhance your business, to understand the concept of storytelling. So if you haven't registered for my webinar for tomorrow, please do so. I will make it short. It will be about half an hour to 40 minutes, where I will be teaching you the concepts of storytelling and how to create content. As we get older, we become more stern or rigid about our thought process, and we say, "Oh, we can't do this," but we can, because I'll put the baby in your arms and you'll come up with 100 stories right away. So that's the power that we have within. So join me tomorrow, and then day after we've got Mike taking you to Central India, and then on Friday we got Johnny Kamugisha from Uganda, who's going to take you to show you silverbacks and chimpanzees and various birds and hippos and lions of Uganda. So be with us, and it'll be beautiful. So all the registration links are here. Fareen has just posted. So you could click here, Abhinav, and then you would have all the links in under one link. Thank you, friends, and please join Deepika's walks. I'm telling you, because she's a foodie and she's going to feed you well as well. You know.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob, for being here. You know, Bob and I go back a long way together. Bob was my first customer in those hot tents in Gir when I started Gir Birding Lodge, uh, you know, over a decade and a half ago. And he was the first man who came and he didn't blink an eyelid and he said, "I'm fine with it." And thank you, Bob. Thank you for patronizing us, and thank you for being with us throughout. Thank you, Rohan. Thank you, Nanita. Thank you, Abhinav. And thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.